for some of these crews. The world champions in the centre, but it's Spain, the Netherlands, Great Britain, denoted with those signs you can see there, and then Romania, Denmark and Ireland.
Oh, wow. So there are the Spanish. Irina Hamadias furthest away from you. Isca Shania Rodriguez, Maria Valencia Nunes, Olivia del Castillo in the stroke seat, just looking to her left. Lane 2, the Dutch, Marlies Oldenburg, who had that terrible bike accident, broken neck, but now back fit in the bow seat on the right. Bente Boonstra, Hermione Drent and Tinker Offerings in the stroke seat, just getting ready to row. There's the British crew, Heidi Long, Rowan McKellar, Rebecca Short in the stroke seat. Oh, that's a little practice start.
Yeah, there's something a bit strange
something
happened.
a bit strange there.
It feels like we may have a little delay here because they've let them go off, do a little practice start.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
There's only 5 crews have gone. There's one just gone off the stake boat now. My guessing here is we've got some sort of delay. So the starters have said, you know, you've got all that adrenaline, you're sitting on the start ready to go. As we look in there, that's Rebecca Shorten in that stroke seat, just having a few words about her start. And the starters probably said, just go, take 10 strokes, and then take a little break and relax.
Yeah,
before they come round
and
again.
I was just about to big up Helen Glover in the 3 seat of the British 4, the 36-year-old triple Olympian going for a 4th Games in Paris. And, of course, double Olympic champion, 4th in Tokyo, but now very much back at the top of British sport, at least. And we'll see how that goes for European sport after this regatta.
Yeah, as you say, Helen Glover coming back into this crew that was already strong. They were the world champions last year, European champions last year, replacing Sam Redgrave. So you would assume she's going to strengthen this boat and make what was already a good crew even faster.
Yeah, Sam Redgrave had an operation earlier this year. She's been in recovery. She's racing here in the women's 8. I guess she'd be disappointed to have lost her seat in the 4, but it's very highly competitive, the British women's squad. I just wonder, you know, how does this delay impact athletes, you know, relatively experienced athletes like this, Greg?
Well, I mean, it's one of those where you've got to control the controllables, haven't you? And it's not what you would ideally expect and want to happen, but it's now just about staying in the moment, putting that difficult moment behind you and then saying, right, how do we go through our routine? And if we need to handle it, you know, handle it better than anyone else does. Don't let yourself panic.
Yeah. And we still don't know exactly the reason why there was a delay for this race.
No, it's an interesting one, wasn't it? As you see, what I was describing earlier, in the heart of the city, those little stake boats, I call them stake boats, little platforms where the stern of the boat is held. It's very calm up there at the start, so they don't need those shoes that we sometimes see at regattas to hold the bow ball in position. So again, we're seeing the British 4 backing the boat down into the hands of the stake boat person who will hold the boat in position at one end. The aligner will align them, and then the starter will be in that hut who will go through the start routine. Sorry, Martin.
Well, no, I was just going to say, as we looked at the Romanians, they're all doubling up here. They'll be in the women's 8 tomorrow. But I guess the British 4 very much the favourites, quickest from the heats. There's the Romanians, 4 veterans of the Tokyo Olympics and 1 world champion in the 2 seat, Maria Tivaradu. She's one off from the right of your picture. Berej, Tivaradu, Rusu, and Berej. It's really good Danish crew, Julie Poulsen, Marie Hernason, Frida Nielsen in the 3 seats, and at stroke on the left in picture, Astrid Steensberg. And then 3 of the women that famously took bronze in the Tokyo Olympics, closest to us, it's Ema Lam, then Fiona Murta. Tara Hanlon comes into the boat from that Tokyo crew. Afrit Keogh up in the bow seat. The one to miss out, Emily Hegarty, the skibbereen oarswoman. This boat coached by Giuseppe De Vita. We're hearing there's another minute of delay. I think there might have been something on the course, Greg. I don't know. We're hearing those sorts of...
It's not obvious, is it? I mean, we're at the finish, so we're looking out here, and like I say, I mean, the water looks... It looks like fast conditions. It looks like there's some, some wind and some waves, but I can't see anything that would be delaying the race. So no, unfortunately, we can't tell you why that's happened.
Yeah. So the crews are sat on the start. The starter has said we are not just going yet, so rest easy. I think, yeah, now it's one of the banners at the start has come a bit loose. It's been resecured, and that's the reason. So I think it is gusty, the wind. You can hear the call over.
Attention.
So the crews are away now. You can see a pretty smooth start right the way across the course.
And Greg, that Romanian start, they really go up with the rating quite significantly higher than the British next to them. 51 strokes a minute off the start. The Romanians never hang about in those first 20 strokes, do they?
Yeah, you can see they were really quite sat up, weren't they, in those early strokes, and they're only really now just coming out to full length. So you can almost see it, that those shins have only just become vertical as those Romanian rowers. You can see them just sliding longer and longer each stroke up as they're out now through about, I guess, about 20 strokes now.
Yeah, the British back in the pack, that won't bother them too much. They came through well to lead in the 1,000, I think, in the heat. Won that race. The Spanish on the left of your picture, they finished second to Chile in the Zagreb World Cup 3 weeks ago. Had a decent race, but at the moment the Romanians led out, and
they're still up in the rate, aren't they? You can see it at 43, but they're really are up to their length now.
What a move by the British, coming back through to go head-to-head with the Dutch. The Dutch just with that number 2 on their boat. They've come off their altitude training camp where they went after Pierdeluca Regatta. Bit wet for the first 2 weeks, we heard, but lovely weather for the last week. And these Dutch women going toe-to-toe with the British women's 4, who are going to lead at 500, Greg.
Yeah, it does look like it coming up to 500. The Irish look like they've had an awful time. They've dropped well off it. But you can see the rest of the pack, they're fairly closely bunched, but the British, perhaps as we might have thought, pushed their way up here with the Netherlands towards the front of the field.
I just wonder what it means going to altitude, that early in the season, Greg, how you are coming down off it for the Dutch women. Nice shot of them there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, altitude training, you expect it's something that's almost sort of a longer-term training idea rather than something you use to get sharp and race fit. So like you say, it's relatively early in the season, so you wonder how they're looking at the year as a whole rather than focusing in on these European Championships. And big move here that we've seen the British really from about 250 now out to 750. It's been a big 500 for them. They were in the field, and I feel like they're moving now every stroke, and they have been for a while. Yeah,
Rebecca Shorten there closest to the picture. Her pairs partner Helen Glover. They won the British trials in the pair, and the talents of Rowan McKellar and Heidi Long up in the bows. They're very flat on the draw, aren't they? They lock it really closely at the front end. They're very loose and relaxed. It's a very long stroke, maybe about 55 degrees forward, 56 degrees, real reach around the front end.
Yeah, it'll be something like that, but it doesn't look like they're really having to work for the length. They look relatively comfortable, they look flexible. Like looking at each of the athletes though, they don't look like they're working particularly hard to get out, but we know they are. They're just able to get out to that length, get connected and keep it pretty simple.
Through the 1,000, it is Great Britain who leads. It is the Romanians in second place, ahead of the Dutch in third. They are the 3 medalists. Denmark in fourth. Ireland just pushing back through. The Spanish on the far side, out of the medals at the moment. I just wonder, is that a little stroke coach, that Helen Glover, or pace coach that she's got, and whether she's going to make calls to Rebecca Shorten there?
Well, I guess she's always been used to sitting in the bow seat. Here we see her in the 3 seat of a 4. She used to be in the bow seat of a pair. She's a good athlete, she's a good competitor. But I'm very interested in what's happening here with the Romanians, that they've checked the move of the British. The British really took distance between about 250 gone and 750 gone. They haven't been able to get that breakaway. They haven't been able to get that little bit of clear water, and now it's to see the Romanians. You can see similar rating, not particularly much higher, maybe a stroke or 2 higher than the British, but their gap is sitting just on 8 meters. Big third 500 we're in the middle of here.
It is.
That shot's showing an interesting looking bit of steering, isn't it? That when you see it from there, it really looks like they're going apart. maybe that's just the angle that we have from the camera.
So
it doesn't look like it here.
As you said, Greg, Romania's bow is inching back on the Brits. You kind of think the Brits have got something in the tank because it looks like they're cruising through the middle. It is early in the season. You wonder just what they'll have for the sprint, but I guess Romania is the quickest moving boat on the course. We see there Emilia Berej, the 25-year-old, in the stroke seat coming up to the 1,500-metre mark, battling back on the Brits.
Well, who knows whether they're cruising through that third 500, but definitely the Romanians have had the best of the third quarter. And big thing now, if the British have gone hard and are really feeling it, they're going to feel a lot in this third final 500. They'll be pleased there's a bit of a tailwind to make it a shorter race, but as it is, the British are up at 40 strokes a minute, Romanians up at 41, and having a go at them here.
Great test for both crews, for Britain and Romania. And Rebecca Shorten there, she's gone through the gears already. She's not waiting for the last sprint for the finish. Alarm bells are ringing. The Romanians coming back at the British crew, just out of shot at the moment.
Yeah, there's still a calmness about the British for them. Helen Glover, they're taking a look to the left, but the gap's down to just about 3 or 4 metres now. You can see it 3 metres on the graphic, and the Romanians are moving back on the British.
I take Romania to win this, Greg. I think at the moment they're just so vibrant. They've got that tailwind to help them with the high rate. 45.
Vibrant is a great word. It's really vibrant, and they're moving through now. Every single stroke. The stroke rate's a lot higher in the Romanian boat, but you can't see the British responding to this.
This will be a big, big win for Romania over the world champions with Helen Glover on board. And you can see the Romanian bows on the right of your picture have hit the front. There is around about 200 metres to go. Romania lead the world champions.
Less than 200 to go, probably 100 metres now coming down. The British are trying to come back at the Romanians. They're going up in the rate as well now. They're at 34 strokes a minute. It's not quite bow ball to bow ball as we're coming down to the line.
And it's Romania. Their bows are going to cross the line first. The famous victory for the Romanians. Britain have to settle for silver medal. It's the Netherlands coming in, just ahead of Denmark in 4th place. Who got that 4th? Is that a photo finish? I think it's confirmed 3rd for the Netherlands, and Ireland will come in 5th place ahead of the Spanish in 6th. Wow, we saw a race there, didn't we, Greg?
We did see a race. The Romanians were so patient. What a great race from them, because as we thought, the British, who'd been so dominant last year, had this in control, but they really didn't in that third 500.
Madalena Berej, Maria Tivaradu, Magdalena Rusu and Emilia Berej have become European champions. Thumbs up from Rowan McKellar, the 2 women of the British crew, to the Romanians. The Dutch are delighted with their bronze medal. Bente Boonstra had her hands in the air, the Scholl Oz woman. Good result for them, but the Romanians, well, I mean, they looked kind of that the British dominated them through the 1,000, but then that third quarter break.
Yeah, well, confirmation of it there. You see the medals, that it was the Romanians, the British and the Netherlands that got those medals. But yeah, no, delight for the Romanians, as we saw. I mean, difficulties at the start, and like you said, we may have a couple of delays today, and how you do stay calm, how you deal with something difficult like that.
Yeah, we're looking at replays. We've got some great shots. We've got a couple of drones out on the course to bring you fantastic coverage of the European Rowing Championships. There's one of those drone shots now off the start. Looking at Emilia Berej, the 25-year-old in the stroke seat. There's Rebecca Shorten. And just that deck or canvas, maybe a little bit more, 1/3 of a length margin the Romanians had.
It was a good margin. The whole of the second 1,000 really belonged to the Romanians. They were just edging their way back pretty much the whole way.
Yeah, and we saw the Romanians peak at the European Championships in Munich last year, and then perhaps, apart from the women's 8, not do so well in the World Championships. And I wonder whether, Antonio Colomanici has brought, look at that, delight from the rain. I wonder whether Colomanici has really piqued his crew, because of funding purposes for this European Championships. Madalena Berej, Tokyo Olympian, didn't get a medal in Tokyo in the women's 8, but the 29-year-old here takes a gold medal. Maria Tivaradu took a gold in the women's 8 last year at the Worlds. Magdalena Rusu, whose sister, I think, will be in the World Junior Championships this year for Romania. And Emilia Berej, the 25-year-old, from Ursova, where so many of these Romanian women